Welcome to this week's episode of Business Solutions, where we get to talk about solutions that are being created by businesses. Currently in the country, in Kenya, we are having a spate of anti-government demonstrations which are taking businesses into lawsuits. Previously, the last public address by the president, he mentioned that the economy has suffered to the upwards of 2 billion shillings in losses. And so this kind of lawsuits trickle down to the businesses, be it small businesses and big enterprises. And so what are some of the mechanisms that these small businesses are going to use to bounce back to their normal running and operations? So to handle this, we are joined by an insurance expert, Sylvester Shiribwa, who is going to unpack these things to us and and he's going to talk about how businesses can remain operational in terms of these situations. Welcome so much, Mr. Sylvester. Perhaps you could just give us an introduction of who you are and what you do.
My name is Sylvester Shiribwa, the Managing Director of Two Gates Insurance Brokers. Two Gates was incorporated in the year 2010, and we have moved strides. Currently, we are doing a business portfolio up to around 45 million per year, dealing with different insurance companies. We have spread our business to companies like CIC. We also deal with the Trident Insurance Company, Geminia Insurance Company, Pioneer Insurance Company, and on medical, we deal with Jubilee and Britam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shiribwa. I'll just try to imagine the kind of claims that are now coming to your desks at this particular time, especially for the businesses, over the looting that has been experienced in the country, and even properties getting banned for small business holders. Maybe you could just give us a picture of what is happening at the moment.
The current scenarios that are happening in our country, actually when you hear that we are making losses in business, the bearer of the burden of all that is the insurance companies. As much as people may think the economy is all about how we are living, but insurance carries the whole burden of whatever that is happening, because we have experienced losses through fire, we have experienced losses through lootings, we have experienced loss of life. We also have experience in terms of injury. Apart from that, whenever the businesses are closed, that is actually a low business for us, because when you close your business, when you don't open for the day, definitely it trickles down to low earnings, and with that, we are actually affected indirectly by whatever that is happening.
And just to paint this picture and to have this conversation rolling now, only the kind of businesses that have registered in insurance companies are the ones who could perhaps breathe a sigh of relief. What about these other ones who have no insurance? Someone just opened up their business and they have no security when such kind of incidences come.
One of the aspects as an investor or any business person, whenever you take your business, have what we call risk management. By risk management, you embrace insurance to take care of you in the event of any eventuality. Unfortunately, most businesses, they have decided maybe to work without insurance blessings, and yet it is the insurance that actually makes you bounce back to business in the event of a claim. We have the small businesses that have actually started, not only new businesses that don't have insurance. We have even insurance, we have companies, we have traders, we have people who are actually trading without insurance uptake. And in the event of whatever that is happening, those who are lucky to have embraced insurance, will continue, will bounce back, and will go back to their normal business.
Mm-hmm.
Those who chided insurance thinking that it has no consequences, we are well secured, there's nothing that is going to happen, we are stable in the event of anything is going to happen, we are going to bounce back. Those kind of perception and business belief will have dire consequences.
And this is what we seek to demystify at this particular time. The myths around insurance that has led to the slow uptake on MSMEs. What are the reasons why these people are not joining insurance? Perhaps someone will say, in a year I may not experience loss to the least, but when it comes, it ravages everything.
One of the reasons why insurance has not been actually been taken positively is insurance. Many people, number one, I think they don't understand it. Especially those who may have come to closer of understanding is those who have actually insured their vehicles, and they are actually not insuring their vehicles because of actually having the background of insurance. They are having a vis-a-vis background that let me take insurance so that I'm not going to get up or got arrested by the police. Insurance is all about protection. Insurance is all about safeguarding your assets. And it's unfortunate that many businessmen have not taken up insurance because, number one, some businesses lack the awareness of insurance. And by lack of that insurance, some business traders just open their businesses, no cover against fire, no cover against burglary, neither personal accident, neither health, even themselves. So that lack of awareness has actually made us have a low uptake. We also have, in Kenya, it's unfortunate that I will mention this, most of us, or most of the populace, is living below poverty line. So in case we are living it at such a scenario, no one will have that extra coin to insure. No one will have that extra coin to put it into a premium, because for you to have that insurance, you have to pay the premium. So with low income levels, you cannot actually afford to take insurance. We have also challenges whereby people in their own minds, they have taken insurance as a betting game or conmanship. So when you mention someone about insurance, number one, you find you have also to explain, you have to convince him that that is not the way. But we have a big number of people who have now coined their mind that to perceive insurance as a not a good thing. It is a conmanship, it is betting, but that is not the way.
Okay, and I will just think about, as an insurer now, you've mentioned an array of insurance company that you work with. CIC, you've mentioned Jubilee, just to mention but a few. I understand that you've grasped some of the basic requirements that they will need, or rather front, for any MSME who want to register as an insurance. And perhaps compliance among MSMEs are one of the challenges that are making insurance companies now unable to join and get on board. So maybe you could just give us a brief overview of, as an insurer, what should we require from an MSME so as to get onboarded?
Any business that needs insurance, number one, they have to, insurance has three aspects. We have the people, we have the business, we have the homes. So at every level, we need some information about what is to be insured. Like, let me give you an example of, let me start with a motor vehicle. For you to get the insurance for a motor vehicle, you must have that, what we call, you own the vehicle. We'll need a copy of the logbook. we'll need a copy of your PIN, we'll need a copy of your ID. And we'll also wish to know the value of the vehicle so that upon those requirements, we can issue cover. When it comes to the small business like shops or supermarkets, we need an array of information about what you are doing. Number one, we'll also need your name of the premises, when it was incorporated, what you deal in, what you want to insure. We insure. You'll find that we have policies like fire, burglary. You also need to insure your employees. You also need to insure yourselves as directors against any injury, against any medical. You will also insure the building or the stock that is in the premises. When we move away to industrial attachments, whereby we are dealing with the factories, in their own way, we also need to have an array of information about the factory, what they are dealing with, the number of staff, what they need to be insured, whether there will be transport of goods from one area to another area, whether there will also be money, so that we can also give what we call cash in transit, goods in transit, whether that company is still being when it is starting, what we call, we have policies we call that erection all risk, so that when it is at industrial level, we have also an array of insurance products that are specifically to it. When you also move away to health insurance, you also need a lot of information about your age, your health status, whether you are married, or
even background information.
Yeah, background information.
I can see that in all sectors there are some requirements. It is not perhaps pegged on specific things that wants to be insured. I've heard you mention about employees in MSMEs, and this is a big challenge where you find most businesses are unable to insure the employees, apart from the statutory one, the NHIF, or rather the SHIF, which is now coming up. Most businesses or MSMEs who have had employees in their companies are unable to insure their employees privately. Maybe the one that is able to, fend or rather clear a certain medical bill, which NHIF could not come in. How can MSMEs now venture into this, which is now quite expensive administratively, given that they will have to remit, or rather a similar portion for them, for the employee?
There is a misconception about mostly, let me call them the employers. Many of the employers have not been able to embrace insurance. Yet, in most cases, it is the insurance that actually will assist them. Under the current WIBA law that was enacted in the year 2007, every employer should insure his or her employees. As long as you have 3 and above employees, you should take them a simple cover that we call Work Injury Benefit Act. That policy has a lot of benefits for the employer, especially like when we get on medical. It is covering an employee during working hours, although you can extend it to cover 24 hours, so that we call it WIBA Plus. It covers an employee against injury up to 100,000 in medical. It covers an employee for 96 months in the event an injury has occurred and the employee has fatally been injured. It covers employees even when you are leaving your house up to when you are leaving your work. It also gives an employee a benefit that actually you feel the employer cares for you. So, and you will find that the premium paid by the employer, they are very, very negligible compared to whenever a claim has happened. And to some extent, you find that an employee is injured and he takes up the issue to our judicial system. So you'll find at the end of the day, you as the employer, you have been sued by your employee, and in the event there is a medical, in the event there is that what you call employer's liability, now that one cushions you, takes care of that, so that in the event of any court judgment, the insurance company will take you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that has to be both private or public, or the one the government offers?
Actually, this WIBA has to be actually been taken as an enforcement by the law. But apart from that, the employee can take what we call personal accident for his or his personal, he himself as the employer or the employees. This one is even a better cover because it covers you when you are at work, it covers you when at your home. So, and the limits are very, very reasonable. So it is imperative, and I will urge many of our employers to take up insurance for their employees for their own benefit.
For their own benefit.
They get more benefit, they get more cushioned, they get more protection, they get more. Apart from the small premium they pay, the returns are higher. In any case, insurance is working in a pooling way. Many insured compensate the few that may get injured or damaged in the course of duty or in the event of any eventuality.
But it is quite unfortunate that people just view it as if they don't get injured, if the worst does not happen as what you've insured of. And so this takes us to our next question, where I just want us to know, what are some of the factors that a small business owner should consider before signing up for a policy in an insurance company?
That perception of the employees has for the of the employers has actually been detrimental to the upkeep or the uptake of the insurance penetration in Kenya, because whenever that you'll find a contractor is building a building, actually is supposed to have what we call contractors all risk, is supposed to have what we call WIBA and employer's liability. But you will find that the contractor has that bullying perception that I am the best, I can do it, and now that I'm working on it, I don't expect any claim. And you see, insurance is all about uncertainty. So in the event of something happens, you find that the client has nothing to fall back to. Let me go back to your question.
On policies, what are some of the factors that a small business should consider before signing up a policy? You've mentioned the one for construction now, where we're getting to the issues of injury. I'm thinking about a kind of business, or maybe that offers services. What are kind of the policy that she's supposed to be considering for this kind of businesses?
The policies that actually we can, for a small business enterprises, first of all, I will urge them to take what we call fire insurance. That one covers in the event of fire. Ironically, many people will not have understood that apart from fire, floods are covered under fire. We have what we call special perils. Even lightning is covered under fire. The normal fire, that the one that comes up with the smoke, is covered. A small business is supposed to have what we call burglary insurance, which is literally, we call it theft insurance company, theft insurance policy. This one protects you against any forceful entry in the premises, and your assets are either stolen or damaged. We'll also have, like I had mentioned, WIBA and employer's liability. We'll also need to have what we call public liability. That is, covers you in the event a guest visits you and gets injured within your premises. You should also have take. In the event, you can also extend to have what we call cash in transit policy. That is money. Under money, there are so many subsections, like cash during office hours. We have cash moving from office to a different bank place. We have cash at the director's residence. We have cash in safes. We have cash at maybe in drawers. So all those aspects, it's imperative that at least you get cover.
And I think this is quite a kind of information which most businesses don't have. I myself didn't even know that there's an insurance for cash at the director's office. That is quite new to me. And we've now drummed up a lot of support for the uptake of insurance to these businesses. But now for these who are already having insurance, we're also having challenges. For example, settling of claims, which has been year in, year out, in the sense that it is now becoming an issue why most businesses don't want to onboard an insurance. Maybe you could just give us an overview of how a small business has incurred fire and now it wants to settle this claim. How do they approach it?
On claims matter, I will wish to mention that the business of an insurance company is receiving premium and paying you in the event of what was unforeseen, what was uncertain. In the event it has happened, the insurance company should compensate you. However, for a claim to be settled, we have parameters that has also to be filled or have to be done by the client so that it gives the insurance company to pay that claim.
The reason to pay the claim.
Unfortunately, we are having, let me talk from the insurance point of view. From the insurance point of view, we have issues to do with the documentations, whereby a client does not give us the proper documents about that claim. I can just give you a small claim, maybe on a motor vehicle. You can ask the client, in the event of an accident that has happened, fill the claim form, let us have your driving license, let us have the photos on what happens, let us have your excess. So you find at one time you are not even given those documents. So you find you take a lot of time. Another issue, you'll find that there are incidents that happen, but the client does failure to report the claim. So you find that there is an accident or there is something that happened, but the insurance was never told, was never informed. So you find 3 years along the line, someone is coming up, he's claiming. And under any policy document, we have what we call exclusion and warranties. You will find that time period or limitation has a hindrance for you not to be paid about that claim. Another issue, we have fraud. You'll find that the client, when he was actually insuring whatever that he was up to, maybe along the line he had the essence that let me do this so that I gain out of insurance. Insurance essence is actually issued on good utmost faith, whereby you insure your property, you give me all the information, you disclose what is all about for me to take care of you. So you find that behind the scenes, someone either is insuring what is pre-existing, he knows that already there is a claim, or someone who has a medical condition, he knows he's taking cover because he has this pre-existing condition. But at the end of the day, you find him, he wants to be compensated. Then we could also have a dispute. A client claims 2 million and the insurance insists that at the time of the accident, what you are claiming to be 2 million or what is covered was actually not even 2 million.
Yeah.
The true value of whatever that you are saying about 2 million is worth 1.2. So you find there is
the push and pull between the client and the insurance.
Yes. However, as much as I may talk positively about the insurance companies, we have some other insurance companies who don't have that what we call customer service at their heart. But fortunately that most of the companies I deal with, and any claim that has happened under 2 gates, we have been able to get our way at least assist the client to be paid. Some companies have that reluctance. Some companies have staff that maybe don't actually know the outflow and inflow on how a claim is handled. So you find that you find you also have to push the insurance company to pay for your claim.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can tell the most of my clients outside there, try in your life to have an insurance broker, an insurance agent, because we are the people who understand insurance. We are the people who deal with this insurance company. So in the event your claim is declined, we have our own way of arguing it out. We have our own way of pushing up the claim. We, as you, as our representative, we make sure at the end of the day, at least the claim is paid on what we call ex gratia basis, or you are fully compensated for what you are insured. Apart from that, agents and brokers, we are like your advisors, we are like your consultants, to make sure that when we are taking up cover, it is adequately insured, it is in conformity of what the all radars of insurance for a policy to be accepted.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've just mentioned that the work of an insurance is to cover and to compensate.
Yes.
And so you mentioned things to do with looking at the documentation of what you are said to be, or what your policy is about. So what has been your observation on most businesses, why they are missing out to get their compensation despite even coming up with, or rather being on insurance?
Most of the clients out there miss out, number one, to get the concept of what they are insured about. Let me give you a small example. Like as I was also coming today, I had a client who had insured his motor vehicle on third party, and he wants it to be repaired and settled by the insurance company. When I told him that you have insured your vehicle on third party, he was surprised. Then I was wondering, when the client was taking up the cover, didn't he know that now that a claim has happened, what was in his mind and what he has insured, they are totally different things. This client, I'm sure he may have been wanted to have covered himself on comprehensive basis. When you insure your car on comprehensive basis, you are covered against damage, you are covered against theft, you are covered against a windscreen, you are covered against loss of radio cassette. But you see, the same client who was calling me, his windscreen had been damaged, and he's expecting for the insurance to take up the cover. So when I told him that you are not covered for windscreen, now he tells me, then what was the need of insurance?
Yet he was on third party.
Yeah,
he didn't
and
understand
yet which does not actually
cover that. Yeah.
So number one, we can say the misconception at the beginning by the
businesses
is also making the insurance companies look awkward. Then another issue is, I had told you before, it is on documentation. Documentation, I can tell you for free, no insurance company will pay you any claim without proper documentation, because at the end of the day, the insurance is also in business. We from the insurance, we also need to make a profit, the agents and brokers to get their commission. And I can tell you also, no one has ever wished for any insurance company to go under liquidation or any under statutory declaration, because we have a lot of people behind the insurance company who benefit from it, apart from the owners of the company, the staff, the service providers, the agents, the brokers. We are a number of people who depends on many about the insurance company.
Okay.
So we wouldn't wish it for people maybe to use ping pong and make an insurance company to go under. Yes.
That is Mr. Sylvester Shiribwa. Indeed, he does not shoot down but up when it comes to matters insurance. Until next time, my name is Kingsley Oluoko.